Good morning. I'm Sister Jane Ann Slater, the Chancellor of the Archdiocese of San Antonio, and I oversee one of the chief roles of the Chancellor is to make sure that the records, the official documents of the Archdiocese are kept, preserved, and being able to be looked at, to be of service to those who need those documents. This has been a 2-year process of upgrading our archives, and the day has finally come, and we're so excited that this day is here and that you have come to join us. So I welcome you and I thank you for being here to join us in this 300th anniversary celebration. We're celebrating our tricentennial with the opening of our archives. You know, the history of San Antonio goes back way beyond before 1718, the founding of the city. It went back to 1691 when the Mass was said on the river and the river was named San Antonio. So we celebrate this day and we thank you for joining us. And now I'd like to invite Elvira Sanchez-Kisser, who is our Director of Archives and Records, to give a little history.
Hello, my name is Elvira Sanchez-Kisser. I'm the new Director of Archives and Records Management. A little bit of the history of our archives. So in 1972, Archbishop Fiore decided that there was a need for us to have a space dedicated specifically for the preservation of our records. And so he has set aside 5 rooms in order to place all of these records in one area, and he has appointed Sister Gertrude Cook, the first archivist, in order to take care of that. And since then, we've had 5 other archivists and have grown larger and bigger, and through the help of Sister Jane Ann and Archbishop Gustavo, they've recognized the need in order to expand our space, in order to create a safer environment for the materials, and have been in the process to create this new renovated archives. So I will actually introduce Archbishop Gustavo. Will give a few comments.
Thank you, Elvira. Thank you, Sister Jane Ann. This is a very happy occasion for the Archdiocese of San Antonio and for our city of San Antonio. The church is the greatest keeper of memory. Even Christ said, "Do this in remembrance of me." So as the head of the church's life, in an act of remembrance which makes the past present and at the same time looks forward to the future with expectant hope, we look back with gratitude and learn lessons so we may go forward in hope. Our archives preserve the history of the people who had built the church, our city, and our archdiocese from the very, very, very beginning. We want to keep alive their significant contributions, travels, sacramental moments, so we may remember and find connections with our roots. These new archives can be a source for all people in our community to discover their history. We welcome our parishes, schools, universities, historians to use the archives as a source and resource in their work and leisure, so that they may carry a part of our history into today and share it with others for the future. Just a little touch of that. The records we have start with information about families since 1703. Then the settlement of the Franciscan friars in 1709, and the foundation of our great city of San Antonio, 1718, and all the way into the present. All this just to say that we in the Archdiocese of San Antonio carry on with responsibility what is going to be the future. History is, above all, people, is us. Thank you for your attention.
Would anyone have any questions for the Archbishop or for Elvira or myself?
I wonder if you've uncovered any jewels, any treasures that perhaps you might have not been aware of before in the reorganization and in the culling of all your treasures.
Well, I'm not sure there probably are some. Elvira would be able to answer that. So.
I'll talk a little bit. So we are still in our process of organizing and pulling all of our collections together. We have a vast amount, and I will definitely say that as we're pulling all of our materials back together into our space, we have been getting calls from different areas of the Archdiocese and the Chancery itself of materials that we didn't know were in different locations. So we are pulling stuff in. We haven't uncovered anything so far that we're ready to release, but when we do, we will let you know.
I might add that we knew we had it, but the book, the Baptismal Registry, the Sacramental Records book, that started in Mexico in 1700, crossed the Rio Grande, traveled with a Franciscan missionary, Fray Olivares, and eventually ended up at the present site of the Alamo, the foundation of the city, on May 1st, 1718. That book is on display in the archives in a special case, and it's been at the Whitty Museum as part of the tricentennial celebration of the city. So we have it for these few days. When we're reopening our archives, it will go back to the Whitty for display until the end of January, and then we'll have it. And it's been digitized, and we have Surface computers that you can sort of go through the book to discover the information about the founding of the city. It's in very difficult to read handwritten Spanish, but we have translations of the most significant parts of it.
I would like to add that we have now that are in storage in a room here. Eventually that will be part of the materials of our archives. We have over 2.5 million cards in which every baptism is registered. So that means that we have information about 2.5 million people just in our records for baptisms. But we have many other records that they will be eventually available for the people to see. I would like also to thank Sister Jane Ann for having the vision to reimagine our archives. Brother Ed Locke, our recently retired archivist, who was for many, many years helping here, and Mr. Jack Traynor for his wonderful advice and direction in bringing our archives into the 21st century resource. And our current archivist, Director Elvira Kisser, who has been very instrumental in overseeing this new chapter in the archives. History has taken place. We are making history. What will be our history like in the future? Let us use this place as a great resource for all people, especially our great city of San Antonio.
Archbishop, when you walk around in there, are there certain pieces or certain things that grab you and really stand out to you?
Well, at this point, what we have mainly is that book that covers records from 1703 to 1783. So it's so important. Must be the oldest book in existence from San Antonio, about San Antonio, even before it became a city, and after, during and after. But I have seen many pieces that we have not placed in yet, but we wanted at the very beginning to offer this press conference to you so that the people during these 300 years, they will get excited. And we're going to be selecting the pieces that they will be there, and then to have some kind of special shows of materials every so often. And we are very excited about it, very excited. Also the universities, you know, many groups here in San Antonio, they have some archives. They will be able to make connections, and we can build up even beyond of what we have for the sake of the people of not only San Antonio. You know, there are people, they come from other places, people that have moved out, they can come and reclaim their roots.
Thank you for coming. Now we'll have a tour of the archives, and then all three, Sister Jane Ann, the Archbishop, and